On August 22nd of 2004, my Humvee was hit by two 155 millimeter artillery shells in Mahmudi, Iraq. I had 45% of my cranium crushed in. I had shrapnel enter my right eye and exit my left eye and eviscerate everything in between. I went through 30 major surgeries in the first 12 months. I flatlined during 3 of them. I spent 16 months in hospitals and rehab facilities before I got medically retired from the Marine Corps. But today, I'm still alive. And I'm still thriving. I did not just survive. I came back, and I made it worth it.
Ladies and gentlemen, thanks for joining this month's episode of Halligans and Half Wheels, brought to you by Box 1971, where we're changing the culture of the fire service one fireman at a time. That was the voice of Corporal Michael Jernigan, United States Marine Corps, Easy Company, 2nd Battalion, 2nd Marine Regiment, awarded the Purple Heart and Combat Action Ribbon. Michael, thank you for joining us. How are you, my friend?
I'm doing well. How about yourself?
If I was any better, I'd be twins. I got to tell you, buddy. Thank you for
Would you be the double mint twins?
With a mustache like this, could you imagine 2 of those walking around?
Oh, that'd be ugly. That would be very... And I can't even see, and I know that'd be ugly.
There's the first sight joke. I knew it was coming. We are in your home in Northern Virginia.
We're at Butler's Lounge.
Butler's Lounge, having a cigar.
My basement bar, yes.
Yeah.
So I call it Butler's Lounge because it's named after Smedley Butler, United States Marine, who received 2 Medals of Honor. I was a bartender before I joined the Marine Corps, and I've always dreamed of owning a bar. But at the end of the day, that's a dangerous venture for a guy with a fixed income. So I just built a bar in my basement.
I love it. It's aesthetically pleasing, and the abundance.
That's what they tell me.
Yeah, it's the liquor is overflowing, my friend.
Well, so at this point, we have 37 different varieties of whiskey, but the goal is to hit 200.
I think we can make that happen.
Yeah, we can. It's interesting with the COVID and all that type of stuff going on right now, and I mean, it's sad that in 2022, I'm still talking about COVID, but there's just not a lot of stuff available. Like with all the supply line problems and everything, I just can't get a good variety of stuff.
Right. I think we need to start making it ourselves. Back to our roots.
Okay, so it's interesting you bring this up. This is actually a contentious point with my wife. But we just built this house. We moved in August of 2021, right?
Yeah.
And it had a 45-gallon electric water heater, which just isn't quite large enough for the house. So if you're like doing dishes and try to take a shower, stuff like that, you run out of hot water. So we upgraded to a larger water heater. Well, my wife wanted to sell our old water heater, and I told her there's no way. Put it in the garage, sitting there. She's like, what are you going to do? Well, I'm going to put a refracting tower on it, and I'm going to turn it into a still. 45-gallon still. I mean, it's an electric water heater. You can set the temperature electrically, plug it in, put a refracting tower on, and we can damn near run out some pure grain.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, that's interesting. We are joined here in Butler's Lounge.
Yes.
We are joined by Lance Corporal Wesley Bournemann.
Devil Dog Extraordinaire.
Jesus Christ. It's Wesley Bournemann.
It is Bournemann.
How are you, man?
Wonderful. How are you?
Like I said, I am blessed to be here. Everything is good. I hope your travel in was safe. Was your travels in safe?
My travel was safe.
All right. And we've also got Corporal Jonathan Bournemann. How are you, sir?
Dunham.
Dunham. I'm sorry. I looked away from my screen. I looked away. That's my bad, bro. That's my bad. So we are sitting here talking about things. So
you will be killed all later.
It's
okay.
He could be a Bournemann if he wants to.
Yeah.
Meetings will continue until morale improves.
Back to the house of pain.
So, Michael, you opened with a rather dramatic opening. I want to kind of get to that, but talk us through how you became a Marine. You said you were a bartender. Where'd you grow up?
I grew up a few different places. I was born in St. Petersburg, Florida.
Okay.
Okay.
I got married there.
That explains it.
Did you? Where?
Yeah, I got married at Veterans Park. Remember we talked about that?
Yeah, we did. So yes. They've done great things with that park, by the way.
It was beautiful. It was a cheap wedding. I mean, not like we were cheap, but just like it was. Yeah. It was a great wedding. It was a great venue.
Yeah. Williams Park is actually what it's called.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I freaking love that town. So I was born in St. Petersburg, Florida, At the time, my dad was in the United States Marine Corps Reserves. He had just been on 8 years active duty in the Marine Corps, and he was at college at the University of South Florida. And at 30 years old, he graduated and got a commission in the United States Army. So we moved to Lawton, Oklahoma. He became an artillery officer. We were there for a few months, and then we went to Hanau, West Germany, right outside of Frankfurt.
Okay.
So, and it's interesting because we got there in November of 1980, so it was still West Germany, right? It was still a split country. And then I want to say it was like 83, 84 time frame, late 83, early 84, we moved to back to Lawton, Oklahoma, so my dad could do the advanced course, the advanced officers course. And then we went to Fort Polk, Louisiana. We actually lived in DeRidder. We didn't live in Leesville from 84 to 87. And then in 87, my dad got orders to New Mexico Military Institute in Roswell, New Mexico for our OTC duty. Some of those Dallas Cowboy fans might understand that New Mexico Military Institute is where Roger Staubach went to school before the Annapolis. And then in 1990, my dad took a one-year unaccompanied tour to Osan Air Base, and my mom, my brother, and I went back to DeRidder, Louisiana, and then he got a follow-up tour to Fort Polk after that. And then in 1992, I guess it would have been December 92, my dad went on terminal leave, retired, and we moved back to St. Petersburg, Florida when I was Christmas break of my 8th grade year when I was 14 years old. So I finished junior high school up in St. Pete, went to St. Petersburg High School, graduated 47 years after actually 50 years after my grandfather graduated from St. Pete High, and then, bounced around for a few years.
Right on.
Had 4.5 glorious, when I say glorious, I mean glorious, freshman years in junior college. Yeah. So when I was 23 years old, I was bartending on St. Pete Beach. I was drinking heavily and doing drugs and just not, my life wasn't going where I wanted it to go. It wasn't where I knew that I wanted to be. So I dried myself out and I walked into a recruiting office and I joined the Marine Corps and I actually enlisted on October 18th of 2002 at the MEP station, the processing station in Tampa, and my father was the officer that swore me in.
That's really, really cool.
It was really cool.
So where did you go to basic training at?
Parris Island, South Carolina.
Oh my.
Yeah.
How was that? Because the guys that are listening to this mostly aren't Marines. I've got a couple buddies that...
I'll say this, man. And I pause because in 2002, I went in November of 2002. I graduated in January of 03. We were at war in Afghanistan. We were getting ready to go to war in Iraq.
Okay.
So we were a combat corps.
Okay.
Parris Island was the easiest part of my service. And I don't want to take away from boot camp. I'm not saying Marine Corps boot camp is easy or anything like that, but it got progressively harder. I mean, for instance, at Parris Island, I was guaranteed I was going to get 6 or 7 hours of sleep at night. I was guaranteed I was going to get 3 hot meals a day, except for a couple of training weeks, and it progressed. When you got to School of Infantry, when I went to Infantry Training Battalion, fire watches become 4 hours. You might not get a hot meal. You might not be able to sleep that night. And then when I got to the fleet, it became training. And that's when the real Marine Corps became. So I would say that, Parris Island, as difficult as it is, for me, was one of the easiest parts of the Corps. That being said, my father's a Marine Corps drill instructor.
So life growing up was like...
It was interesting because when I got to Parris Island, I realized they couldn't touch me.
What do you mean they couldn't touch you?
Well, so
They're not supposed to.
they're not supposed to touch you.
I like how Dunham put up air quotes when he said supposed.
Dunham. Well, so okay, they don't punch you, they don't hit you. They're gonna scream at you, stuff like that. And they're just gonna break. I mean, it's a whole 12-week process.
Okay.
They break you down, they fill your head with information, and then in the 3rd, 4th weeks they build you up as a Marine.
Okay.
There's no abuse or hazing, only correction.
We were all treated fairly and equally. We were all treated fairly and equally. We were all treated fairly and equally.
All equally worthless.
We were all treated fairly and equally.
There is no racism in my corps.
Yeah.
Here you are all equally worthless.
Yes. So it's like I said, I don't want to take away from Marine Corps boot camp because it is very much a strenuous training. But for me, like my father was a Marine Corps drill instructor from 1972 to 1974 after he came home from Vietnam.
Okay.
Okay, so
different generation.
Different generation. My grandfather, my mom's dad, went to Parris Island in 1946.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you've got a lineage.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
that's.
Yeah.
What about you two? What made you guys join?
Well, for me, it was my brother.
And that's the voice of Mr. Dunham.
My brother enlisted when I was 12.
Okay.
He went to Parris Island and all that. But I've had a family history in the military going back to at least my grandfather
Okay.
in World War II.
Really?
Yeah, and I mean, my sister-in-law just traced my ancestry back to the Mayflower. And I've got ancestors going back all the way to, like, the Revolutionary War in the military.
By the way, like 10% of American can trace their roots back to the Mayflower. You're not special, Dunham.
I'm not saying I'm special. So, wait. So, only 10%. But that's
Well, I mean,
10% of
double. I mean, don't quote me on a statistic, but it is actually.
Don't quote me.
Yeah, don't quote me.
I'm not Google.
I just
I'm just saying.
I just saw out a number, but don't quote me.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just saying.
citation needed.
It's like a works cited paper for college.
So by the way, for you listeners, you're going to get a lot of Dunham, Bournemann, and myself digging on each other because we're like crabs in a bucket. Once one starts to reach the top, we got to drag him down and make sure he remembers where he came from.
At the bottom of the fucking bucket.
If you don't make fun of him, they really care about him.
I remember when you were a PFC, Dunham.
I remember when you were Lance Corporal.
It's true. And wasn't I a good-looking Lance Corporal too?
I thought you were ugly as shit.
Well, I mean,
What do you think of that new shirt he's wearing?
It's snazzy.
Snazzy? I mean, he's got a new hat, too, to
he
wear.
didn't see my hat.
Oh, wait till you see the hat. We'll wait till
Yeah.
after we're done shooting
Well,
this.
I saw that American Hat Company box over there, and I
Yeah.
got curious.
Yeah, he got him a new hat. He wore mine in D.C. When we laid Woody Williams to rest, and he laid in honor in the Capitol. And we ended up smoking cigars. Where were we at? Was that Chevy Chase?
We were in Chevy Chase, Maryland. I do not remember the name of the place.
Yeah, we took it over, though. I mean, there was only, like 3 of us when we got there?
Isn't that what Marines are known for
Well,
doing?
I mean...
You do read my mind.
Yeah,
I mean,
It's-
exactly what
we
I was gonna
infiltrate and proliferate. It's what we do.
there was like 3 of us that went to smoke. And
Yeah.
next thing you know, I didn't have 25 cigars. It was gone.
So
And then everything I gave him...
It was acquired.
Yeah, he gave away all his.
tactfully acquired.
Yeah.
Tactically acquired. Yes.
Well,
So,
Bournemann, what made you want to serve?
Most of my my uncles and my dad, they're all former military, and so what I was working just dead end jobs. You know what I mean? Just there was no promotion. It was just more or less a dead end job. So I was just working to make money, to pay rent, pay bills, all this stuff. And I was a little bit older though by the time I joined. I was 23 when I joined.
Okay, an old man.
In
in the infantry, that is an old man. Yes, it is.
Considered an old man.
I've been hanging
I
around
was
Jernigans
24
too
when I
much.
enlisted. Yes,
Yeah.
you feel very old.
I am super young then. I joined at 18.
Oh, you weren't even shaving.
Nobody
yet,
was
were you?
talking to you, Dunham.
Sorry. I Lance Corporal. Fucking boot.
So you graduate from Parris Island. Did all 3 of you go to Parris Island?
I went to Paris already.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yes.
Where the real Marines go.
But okay, so you say that. In my defense,
Uh-oh.
my grandfather went to Parris Island, but my father is a San Diego Marine because he's a Texas boy.
We won't hold it against him.
You know what? I'll tell you this. To make it even better, he joined the Army after he got out of the Corps.
Oh.
So I love my father. Love him to death. But he's a cross-dresser. He's a Marine that likes to wear a soldier's uniform, you know? Which, can I say something? We do have a cross-dresser in our presence as well.
Oh, my.
Wesley Bournemann. Army National.
I was going to say, didn't you go National Guard?
Army National Guard.
I did 4 years.
Yes.
I did 4 years in the Marine Corps. Active service,
Glorious
and then-
years in the
glorious
Marine
years
Corps.
in the Marine Corps, and then I did 16 16 years in the National Guard.
Yeah.
So you're
20 years time in service completed.
so you're straight up retired then,
I am straight up retired. Yeah.
Wow.
getting them bennies for life.
Well,
it don't come till it don't come till
I gotta age out before I get all my benefits.
Right.
So I'll get all the benefits by the time I'm 58. So right now I'm 45. So
you got a little wait.
I gotta wait a little bit.
Right.
Yeah, I mean,
But it's fair.
what's 13 years?
Well, that's 13 years.
13 years he's got to work for a living, bro. He's got to go punch a man's clock.
One question I've
What did
always
you say?
had for
He's got to go punch another man's clock. He's got to go work.
That's not what I heard.
You're such a pervert, man.
everybody's a little light in the loafers.
Jernigan. Well, take us to your first.
Can I say something?
You can say anything you want,
All
my
right.
friend.
So I want to introduce Wesley Bournemann myself.
Oh, okay.
So
Do it. Floor is yours.
the reason I am sitting here talking to all of you is because of Bournemann. All right. So that day, August 22nd of 04, when I got hit in Iraq,
Yeah.
I was thrown 20 meters out of the vehicle, my head crushed in, and I was critical, to say the least. All right. Wait, you're a medical guy.
Yeah.
What would you say?
You'd be a red tag, borderline black tag.
Yeah.
You're
like
close.
I was like a step away from the toe tag type thing.
Yeah.
I mean, and the command came down, and they said hold in place. Right.
What does that mean for civilians that don't have any
Hold in
military?
place meaning we're not. Everyone needs to stay where they are.
Okay.
We're going to bring in a CAS evac, right? Casualty evacuation.
Okay.
Right. I couldn't make it that long. So Bournemann, he's my wheelman.
Yeah.
Right. And my buddy Godius, Jason Godius, corporal at the time.
Right.
Yeah, at the time.
There he was.
Dude, he made like staff sergeant. So Godius and Bournemann threw me in the back of a Humvee with another guy named Brenneman that got wounded in the same blast.
Okay.
And they took off 1.5 miles to the base, and they got me to the doctors on base. And because they defied orders, thank you, by the way.
No problem, buddy.
Because they defied orders, I'm still here today. If they wouldn't have done that, I'd have been dead on the X.
It's hard to believe that all happened like 1.5 miles off base too.
That's
crazy.
Were
you guys taking the same route? Was that the deal?
No, well,
that was
the only route.
Yeah, it was.
Oh, it was one way in, one way out.
Yeah, it was Route Jackson. So it was a weird situation when you went downtown, right? There was one road going in, and it made this 90-degree turn at a playground, and that was you either went in from the top and came down, or you went in from the bottom and came up. So there was no way to like go different routes all the time.
Okay, so it was for them it was the delight because they didn't
It's
have to.
what we call a fatal funnel.
Sure,
Right.
absolutely.
Yeah, and they had us in a fatal funnel, and I'll tell you this, man. We relieved a battalion of the 82nd Airborne in March of 04 in Mammadia, and I will say this: I talk a lot of trash about the Army. But that battalion from the 82nd Airborne had Mammadia on lockdown. That was a nice city. There wasn't any insurgent problem, any of that stuff.
Right.
And we took over, and it was a nice changeover. And it was a safe area. And then in April of 04, we went to Mammadia for Operation Vigilant Resolve, what I like to call, never mind, I won't even go into that just yet.
Sure.
But
Was that Pantano's turkey shoot?
no.
Or was that when?
Yeah. Hey, I'm just gonna say, don't say anything NCIS can get us on, right? But
I know what you're talking about.
Exactly. So we went to Fallujah. We went to Fallujah for a month, and then we went to Zaydan for like 3 months.
Camp
Okay.
incoming.
And then Camp Incoming. Actually, we got mortared
every day. Three times a day.
Two to three times a day. Yeah. I mean, it's just depending on how frisky they were at the time, so we named it Camp Incoming. And then in August of 04, we...
what kind of fucking sick humor do you have to name?
That shit didn't stop.
Okay,
Mortars
so can I
didn't
say
stop.
something?
You can say anything you want, man.
We're the guys that run towards the fire.
Yeah. I can relate to that.
I am the fire.
Yeah, but I mean, like, and I'm not getting down on firefighters, by the way. Hell of a mustache.
Tell them how you
wants
know.
a mustache, right?
Tell them how a guy with no eyes knows that I have a good mustache, because that's going to be a question that I get asked a lot. So let's just dispel the myth right now. How did you find out I have a big
Finger
mustache?
blasted your face.
Finger
Dude, it is
blast.
like we are on the same wavelength.
I'm going to tell you, I was violated in our nation's capital. And
Who wasn't?
It is represent. What is it? Taxation without representation. I got no representation
There
there.
are 330 million people that get violated every day in our nation's capital.
Yeah. Well, 330,000,001 was me. I mean, he just said, "Come over here."
I don't even think I said that.
No, you did.
I just
We were
straight
about
up-
3 foot away.
Well, I mean, the thing is, you can't. If you're going to take a man, you got to take him. Right?
So now we went from I didn't do that to, well, yeah, maybe I did.
You know, I mean, if you're going to take a man, you got to take him.
What are you smoking, by the way?
I am smoking a Arturo Fuente Añejo number 49 that has been aged for 8 months in my aging humidor. It is a 49 ring gauge by 7 5/8 in length. I wish, I want to say it's all Dominican.
I
Don't
couldn't
quote
tell
me
you.
on that.
Couldn't tell you.
It's been a while since I looked it up, but it is one of the greatest smokes.
It is a very smooth smoking. Thank
It's
you
a
for
very
sharing
smooth
with me.
smoke, yes. So,
Wesley's over there. What are you hitting? You hitting Indian spirits, or what do you got going on there?
I'm just smoking a regular cigarette.
But what is a regular cigarette? Like what? You got like Pall Mall over there, or what do
no,
you?
man, this homeboy, he's got the home rolled.
Oh, you got.
Well, it's authentic blend from Ireland, and it's chopped by hand. And
His eyes are rolling. He's lying like a motherfucker.
Yeah, you know, all them Irish guys named Bournemann running around in Ireland, growing tobacco in Ireland.
So tell me something, Jernigans. Tell me about your first in-country experience, like your first patrol or your first IED. What was that
okay,
like?
Okay, so I was hit by an IED that took my eyes and all that. That was the third IED and a hit by. So this is actually a pretty funny story. I was in country for like 10 days.
Okay.
Okay. I can't tell you the date, but we were doing an IED sweep along a dirt road on the outskirts of town, which this IED sweep was basically that we were walking like 2 columns.
Go ahead. There's 2 columns,
We can hear you, honey.
and that's the lovely voice of Miss
That's
Kimberly.
my wife, Kimberly, in the
She's-
background.
No, you're
Yeah.
good. These mics are sensitive. It's all good. Do you want to come join us?
No, I can
Okay.
They're hot mics, not to be confused with the dashingly handsome
Yeah,
Michael
they are
right
very,
here.
very hot.
I was literally whispering.
Yeah, we could hear you. You said, "Hey, Tom."
Yeah.
We can hear every word.
I am so happy I have a fart or something.
Hey, honey.
Oh, if we'd have
We
farted.
shouldn't have
By the
told
way,
her.
you're still live on the mic.
You could
We can hear everything you say. Yeah, I understand
that's
that.
okay.
I just want you to know you're still live on the mic.
So you're running down. There's 2 parallel deals.
Okay, so basically it's a dirt road. Okay, so we've got a column on each side. We've got Marines on the left side, Marines on the right side, and we're like inchworming. So we're going up like 100 meters on foot and looking for anything suspicious and unusual. Keywords, okay?
Yep.
Suspicious and unusual.
It's a bit like saying, we're looking for a blue bongo truck.
Which would be suspicious and unusual at the time. So we're moving up, and we push like 100 meters up. It's a little over a football field for those people that don't know the metric system. And and then once that's clear, we bring the Humvees up, and then we on foot push 100 meters up, and we're inchworming essentially up this road. Well, so I'm only a Lance Corporal in the Marine Corps at the time. This is my second deployment, not to Iraq. My first deployment was to Okinawa, Japan, which was a great liberty deployment, good training, but no combat. So I don't want to look like an idiot. And I'm looking down the road, and as I'm coming up, I'm like, wait a second. That's a bush in the middle of the road. All right? So bushes in the middle of the road, unusual, right?
Yeah, very unusual.
A bit.
So, but
They don't usually grow.
I'm a
there.
little hesitant to say something. I don't want to look like an idiot. So I take a few more steps, probably move up another 10 meters. And I'm like, okay, that bush has a blue blinking light in it. That's definitely suspicious, right?
It's not Moses's bush, is it?
That was a burning bush.
Oh, that's close.
This was a bush with a blue blinking
A
light.
blue burn. It's close
Yeah,
to
no,
see.
it wasn't even burning. It was just straight blinking blue.
Okay.
Right? So in my mind, I'm like, okay, we've hit suspicious and unusual. And in my dumb mind, I'm like, I'm not going to say anything. I'm going to walk up and see what this blue blinking light is, right? So I literally walk up to this bush, take a knee, stick my face in the bush, and 18 inches in front of my face is you familiar with a number 10 can?
Yes.
Like a big can of peaches, one
Yeah.
of those huge cans, right?
Yeah.
There is a number 10 can there with a cell phone taped to it. The cell phone's blinking blue, and there's wires coming out of the cell phone into the top of the can. So,
Jesus.
oh yeah, that's what they call an IED, right? Improvised explosive device.
Right.
It's what I call a significant emotional event.
Significant emotional event.
So I let out a blood-curdling scream, bomb, and I got up and ran as fast as I possibly could, right? And everybody ran because when somebody screams bomb, try to keep up, you know?
Right.
And this IED detonated. And luckily nobody was wounded. We got peppered with a little bit of, like, you know, shrapnel on the flak jacket, that type of stuff, but nobody got hurt.
Right.
Right. The two Iraqi police we were with jumped in their car and they took off like,
Bitches.
oh, yeah.
This is a common theme throughout our
Yeah. So, you know, I mean, hey,
and the Afghanistan withdrawal.
they took off faster than Speedy Gonzalez, I'll tell you that right now. But I learned two very important lessons that day, right? As I got back to the fob, I realized that if you see something, say something, right? Like
Right.
if they're telling you to look for stuff suspicious and unusual, when you see stuff that is suspicious and unusual, freaking open your mouth, right?
Right.
And the second thing I learned, which is probably one of the best lessons a man can learn, is that if you scream like a girl, you can run faster.
Because there's no air in your lungs?
I don't know what it is, but if you get that high-pitched, like, really good, blood-curdling, like, Jamie Lee Curtis scream, you know, you can shave like a second off your 100, man.
No
Sure,
shit.
yeah.
Could have gone pro. Could have gone pro.
That day I could have.
Yeah.
Now, subsequent days, I don't know about that, but I mean, that day I could have gone pro.
So then you had a second encounter with an IED?
Well, I mean, you can call it a second encounter.
You're the only man. I have to tell everybody what's happening right now. So you check your cigars with the tip of your fingers. And I never will forget the first
I don't
time.
read Braille.
That's exactly what I was going to say.
Can't feel it.
Well, I don't read Braille.
You crack me up, man.
You know, not to mention you got to memorize a lot of stuff. The second IED, we were in Zaydan, Iraq.
Fun place.
All expenses
It
vacation,
actually
right?
wasn't bad. You guys remember that?
You weren't with Lieutenant Pantano. The dude had us going everywhere all the time. It was hell. That dude ran us ragged.
Yeah, but like I'll say this. I would have. My mistake is I had the opportunity to put myself wherever I wanted to because I was a weapons platoon Marine. So we went to first, second, or third, right? I wish I would have gone with Pantano. Because at least when you were the Pantano, you knew you were coming home. You know? Like, the guy exuded confidence in a way that was ridiculous.
At Camp Incoming, I'll never forget. It
Yeah.
was me, him, and Davis.
Zaydan was Camp Incoming.
We were all on a patrol to go to the part of town where we were getting all the mortars from.
Who were you with?
Pantano, and Davis. And
Richard
our whole
Davis?
squad. Yeah.
Good old Ricky D.
Anytime, like, it was me and Davis that usually got pulled to be his attaches any time he was with our squad.
Well, I mean, Davis spoke Arabic.
Well, yeah, that did help. But we had Jack, our Terp, with us this time.
I remember Jack.
And that dude was
Named
cool
after
as fuck.
Jack Daniels, by the way.
That dude was cool as fuck. We went house to house for like 6 hours, and at every house he goes, if we take one more mortar from this area, I'm coming in here and I'm arresting every male over 14.
Yeah.
Every single time, every single house. I don't remember taking a single mortar from that portion of town anymore. It came from the other side from there on out.
Yes. Came from across the river.
Really?
Yeah.
One more time. That's what he said. One more
Yeah.
time.
Well, dude,
One
we
more
got-
time.
We got mortared every day, multiple times a day. There's a reason we named it Camp Incoming. Because incoming is what you say when there is artillery, mortars, artillery shells, whatever, incoming, coming towards you. And so they use this Soviet crap that screams. It whistles,
Okay.
right? And
So does that make it go faster?
no, it's a psychological thing.
Yeah.
Because
Okay.
you don't know, because it makes such a loud noise, you don't know where it is going to hit and it sounds like it's going to hit you every time. Now, granted, they can't do indirect fire for the life of them. No. After 2 weeks, we kept running for holes the whole 9 yards. We literally, we'd hear incoming, we just stand there
and watch,
and we never even saw the round, right? Like they never even got close. But that's beside the point. But we were in Zaydan. We were in the back of a 7-ton truck, really big truck.
Yeah,
you know,
deuce and a half type deal.
Yes.
No.
So deuce and a half
Bigger.
is 2.5 tons.
Okay.
This is a 7-ton, so that would
Holy
be
fuck.
So,
2 of a deuce and a halfs and then a deuce.
So the tires for the 7-ton
Are taller than my wife.
So
they're like this tall.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
So
Oh yeah.
Tires.
So when you know how you get out of a 7-ton,
you jump out.
you go over the side. It's a 7-foot drop from the
Yeah.
top to the bottom, and we're wearing 60
70
to
pounds
80
of armor.
pounds of gear
Yeah.
as we hit. That's why we all got bad knees and bad backs.
I don't have bad knees. I don't have knees.
Yeah, there you go. So
That's why we're all about a foot shorter than we should be.
yeah. And when I go to the VA, I refuse to let them put a tape measure on me. I claim 72 inches because I was 72 inches when I enlisted, and I'll be 6 feet when I die. But we were in a 7-ton, and we rolled over an ID, and the damn thing blew up. Right?
I'll be damned.
But it didn't all the way blow up. It only partially detonated, right? So like the truck lifted up a couple inches off the ground, which for a 7-ton, that's a, you know, and we all ripped out the side and all of this stuff. And the only casualty we had was Big Country. Crawford got a concussion, but that was it. And we even drove the truck away.
Yeah. Didn't Crawford end up absorbing like 5 IEDs too? After that one,
I was only there for one of them. But I mean, you guys did the 05 deployment that I wasn't there for.
I want to say he ended up absorbing a lot. Like it's like not Johnson. There was he's a cop now in Tampa. Weird, tall. Jeez, what is his name?
Kuchner.
He was a
He's no
bullet
longer
magnet.
he was never in Tampa. He was in Sarasota. Now he's up in the Panhandle.
No.
Yeah.
But yeah, that dude was a bullet sponge. That's
why I never hung around with Kuchner.
Kuchner, no shit, got shot like 3 times.
Yeah.
Jesus.
But like,
Never
here's the
serious
thing.
enough to get out of the fight either.
Exactly. Like he was
Never
always
serious
just
enough.
grazing
Yeah.
rounds. Like Kuchner got 3 Purple Hearts. All right. This dude, like, you don't hang around with people like that.
Right.
You will get shot
Yes.
when they're aiming for him.
Yes. Yeah.
That aims that bad.
Oh, dude, don't even
Okay, so
start
they
on their
let
aim.
Allah guide their bullets. Right? They literally just
They'd be better
spray
off
and
throwing them at
pray.
you.
Allah will guide my bullets.
They're better off throwing them at you.
Jesus.
They're as accurate with their rifles as they are with their mortars.
I will say this though, they're hella good at bomb making.
Yeah.
Yeah, I will attest to
give 'em
that.
that.
They're hella good at bomb making.
So
too.
the IED that exploded on 22 August
Yeah.
2004. How big of a mortar round or shell was that?
It was 2 155 millimeter artillery rounds.
155 millimeters.
So, what is that, like that big around?
God damn, that's huge.
I'm gonna look it up.
Oh,
Millimeters.
We're mathing the shit out of this. Hang on.
What,
This guy could be like a
2.2 centimeters to a inch. So what's 155 divided by 2.2, and then you'll get an inch.
6.1 inches.
Yeah. Okay. So I
So
mean,
2 of those bastards?
Yeah, I got
2 of
big. I got big.
That's
You
a
know,
fucking Jesus.
that's what she said.
So y'all are riding along. You're on patrol.
This is when actually Bournemann might be able to help with this because I don't remember.
It's probably a good thing.
I agree 100%. Yeah, I am very blessed that I have some type of traumatic amnesia from that day.
Well, the dopamine. helped.
Are you okay talking about
Yeah,
that?
well,
one?
I'm good.
Okay.
So what happened earlier was when I went to go use the bathroom, and I said to his wife, who was offline, I guess, and it might get emotional because
Yeah.
I have not that I have issues, but like I need to get those issues out. I mean, we all have issues. So we all have issues. Dunham's have issues. Mike's got issues. It doesn't matter who you are. If you're in the military, you have issues. Like,
I also have the Charlie's Theron issue.
I mean, there's only
Playboy.
if you've been overseas. If you've been overseas and you in the military in general, like you have issues. So if you have issues, just talk to somebody. Talk to somebody. Like, unfortunately I don't talk to somebody right now. I need to talk about it more and get it off my chest.
Dude, I've been going to a VA therapist for like 4 years.
Sure.
It helps.
I've been going for 17 years.
It helps, man.
Yeah,
Like, you go.
I haven't been.
Do you mind talking about it?
No.
All right.
What?
Bro, you don't have to.
It's gonna get emotional. But it just brings back.
You're all right, baby.
It just brings back stuff that I have trapped.
It was an ugly day.
It was.
There was a lot of blood. We had a KIA. It was an ugly day.
I can only imagine.
Yeah. So, I mean, I from what I understand from the story, our Humvee broke down.
It broke
And
down.
we started towing our own Humvee. And because we were towing a vehicle, we couldn't drive that fast.
Sure.
Which
So you,
made us, one of our best things was our speed. If you can rip down the road at 60 miles an hour, it's harder to hit a target doing 60 than it is to hit a target doing 15.
absolutely.
And our Humvee broke down. We wound up towing it back. I was in the machine gun turret of it, of the lead Humvee that was towing this broken down Humvee, and that's when the IED detonated. I was thrown 20 meters from the vehicle.
Jesus
Corporal
Christ.
Christopher Belchick was KIA instantly. Corporal Creel, who was the driver, I don't really know what happened to him. I heard he lost his foot. I don't know. We lost contact. David Bournemann took shrapnel into his forehead and actually had one of his frontal lobes lobotomized. And
Jesus.
unfortunately, he just passed away last year from complications from that.
Brenneman
And
passed
then,
away?
What's that?
Brenneman passed away?
Yeah, Brenneman passed away last year.
I did not
August
know that.
22nd of last
Wow.
year on his alive day. And then
And the fucked up thing about
Bob
that
Fadley.
was I talked to Brenneman. I talked to Brenneman like on a monthly basis on Facebook. We would talk like
Right.
I don't know, like an hour or whatever, just stupid shit, whatever. And literally on his medical complications, I literally talked to him the day before he had his medical complications.
Sure.
But there's no proof of, as far as I know, of what happened.
he essentially slipped into a diabetic coma, and because he was alone,
Oh.
wound up dying.
Yeah, sure.
So he developed like short-term memory loss. He developed diabetes. He developed
he was
epilepsy.
He was a heavy
and he-
drinker.
He was a heavy drinker.
Heavy drinker.
And it just took him.
something coming from Bourneman.
It just took him.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
yeah.
Bourneman,
So,
you-
hence drinking.
What are
and
you drinking
smoking.
over there? What are you drinking over there, buddy?
I'm drinking that.
He's drinking heavily, is what he's drinking.
You're drinking Havana Club, right?
Yeah. That's the first time I had it, so it's pretty good. It's pretty good.
Well, that is,
And I apologize for getting emotional.
buddy. You don't have to
It's not-
listen. You don't have to apologize for anything, and fuck anybody that's got anything to say about it.
Dude, one of the things I've been thinking for a while is that, like, they ought to just make people in the military go to therapy.
I don't know. We've been.
I mean, you have the literal legal authority to make them do whatever you
Yeah,
want.
but you can make them go, but you can't make them talk.
True, but you can get
You
the,
know-
you can make it so that they can be taken off active lists unless that psychologist signs off on it.
It's funny you say that because I'll tell you this.
It's an interesting point.
We did 20 years of combat. 20 long years of combat, right? Should we have done it? No. I mean, like, honestly, realistically, and I'm going to say this right now, in 2001, we probably could have just paid the Taliban and they would have given us bin Laden.
Probably.
Really?
Yeah.
Probably.
Oh, yeah. We probably could have dropped like $500 million on the Taliban and they would have delivered bin Laden to us.
And the worst part to me is, like, it's not even that it wasn't necessarily worth it. It's the way they went about handling it.
Yeah.
It was just all.
It was completely mismanaged. The whole thing
from
was,
minute one.
Yeah, I mean, like, okay, like for instance, and I don't talk about this much, but I'm willing to talk about it now. We should have never been in Iraq. And I mean, hindsight being 20/20, said the blind guy, right? And I mean, everybody agrees that we should have never been in Iraq. So it's not. I'm not saying anything that's crazy or anything like that. But like Afghanistan was a completely mismanaged war. Okay.
Totally.
100%. It was completely mismanaged from the top down. You know.
Those damn ROEs, man.
Yeah.
It's those damn like we're only like 50% joking about that. They tied our hands.
So like okay, so I'll tell you this. Okay, let's talk Korea.
Okay.
Was a tie. That was the 1950s. Right?
Okay.
Vietnam was a loss. That was the 60s and 70s. And I hate to say that because both my grandfathers and my dad are Vietnam veterans.
Right.
But that was a loss, right? We had this brief victory in Desert Storm, which, can you call it a victory when the Army turns and runs, right? So, and I mean the Iraqi Army.
Right.
You know, and then we got hit with this this terrorist attack on September 11th, and I mean, to fight a war today, I don't think America has the stomach for it.
A real war.
No.
Let's not say a real war or a fake war or anything like that. When you got one guy shooting at another guy, that's a war.
They were getting weak in the knees over dead checks in Fallujah. We were like, that's pretty normal. That's what you do. I mean, they have a tendency to pretend to be dead.
Yeah, so you flick them on the eyes. Just with the back of your hand, you just tap the eyes. And if they move, they're not dead.
Or shoot them.
Yeah.
Like what it was, the guys in
What did I
Fallujah
say
were
about
going to Fallujah.
NCIS, dude?
This is documented. They already know about it.
You flicked them in the eyes. I
And
kicked
it
them
was
in the fucking
standard
nuts.
procedure. Like, what are they going to come after us for?
But I mean, like, you got
kicked the dude in the fucking nuts.
Essentially, what it comes down
Hey,
to
listen, you kicked the fucking dude in the nuts. He's gonna fucking move.
It comes down to you got to check. But I mean, at the end of the day, like, for us to go to war, it's almost impossible now. There's no way. So it's funny. Is that in 2009, actually, check that 2008. I was talking to a used car salesman at CarMax in Richmond, Virginia. And he, I think, summed it up the best. And he said that the difficulty with warfare is trying to bring civility to it, right?
It's fair.
Like CENTCOM General Order 1 Alpha, no excessive damage to civilian infrastructure or civilian deaths, right?
Sure.
How do you subjugate an enemy without blowing some buildings and you know, that type of stuff? And I mean, and this is all it's going to be talked about for decades, decades. You know, it's nothing that hasn't been talked about before,
right?
But at the end of the day, it's like we were sent to fight this shitty war.
So you woke up in Bethesda
6 days later.
Your dad was overseas at the time?
My dad was working at United States Europe Command in Stuttgart, Germany when I got whacked. Okay. So it actually goes a little deeper than that. My godfather is Mike Roden, retired United States Army colonel, military intelligence. At the time, he was with the IG's office, Inspector General's office in the Army. But I got wounded. My family gets word back home. It's broken and garbled, so to speak. Like, it says he's blind, but does that mean permanently, all of that type of stuff. So my mom calls Mike Roden, who's still on active duty in the Army, and she gets his wife, Margie. Margie's like, well, Mike's flying to Iraq right now. I'll have him call you when he lands. So Mike Roden landed in Iraq, called Margie. She relayed the information. Mikey's been hit. He calls my mom, give me his social security number, and he winds up going to the 31st Combat Support Hospital in Baghdad and sees me. Now, I'm medically induced into a coma at the time. I like to point out I was never knocked unconscious. I was medically induced into a coma.
Holy shit. Wow. Okay.
Well, I mean, hey, Marines are hard, baby.
Jesus Christ.
He wouldn't stop moving.
What's that?
He wouldn't stop resisting.
Yeah.
I asked you earlier.
They say resistance is futile. I don't believe that.
Not to push pause on that, but we were kind of joking earlier because when I called you, I was stuck on 95 in traffic, and you told me that you were loading a belt-fed weapon.
I was, yeah.
And I was super excited because I thought we were going to blow some shit up. Little did I know when I got here, it was Nerf. But
Hey, look, man.
Still belt fed.
I mean,
Still-
is it not a belt-fed weapon? A belt-fed weapon is a belt-fed weapon, okay? Whether it shoots Nerf darts or 7.62 or .50 or my favorite, 40 Mike HEDP, Mark 19, greatest thing ever built.
I was hoping that it was going to be like us blowing shit up. But
Yeah. Well, I mean, and I knew
I
that,
even told you
and
that.
that's why
I don't think the neighbors would like that.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you
HOAs.
guys know this word in North Carolina, but it's called subterfuge.
I've heard of it. It's in the dictionary.
I'm just amazed you can read
What pictures?
with a mustache like that, with pictures. Gotta love it. So you got the Marine Dictionary.
I'm going to get you crayons for Christmas.
They're tasty.
By the way, my favorite flavor is red.
Favorite favorites, man.
Yeah.
They said that, so by accounts, they said you were still trying to reach for your rifle.
Yeah.
After this thing-
Yeah,
after
I
this
was,
thing
I
went
was,
off.
I was calling for my rifle. I was doing all that. I mean, we were under attack.
It's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, it's muscle memory. It's
Sure.
it's just what you're.
Well, and that comes back to like what we talk about a lot on this podcast. We've talked a lot about mental health and first responders and things like that. And that muscle memory is one of those things. Like if you're in a fire and you take your face piece off, you're going to forever do that when you get into a situation where you're jammed up. It's a bad way to be.
I'm sure in the fire world, you guys run immediate action drills, right? Or something along the same lines.
Yes.
Okay. So like before we would go on patrol, we would run IA drills, immediate action drills, right?
Sure.
Contact left, we all face left. Contact right, we all face right. We would go over the sand terrain and the sandbox, and we'd get all these briefs and everything, and we would do these drills so that you're prepared. And I mean, the reason we train and we train and we train and we train is because if you train, you will do that when the time comes. I remember my first real firefight. Bournemann was there. Was in Fallujah in April of '04, and we took fire from 2 machine gun emplacements. And what really blew my mind was how.
Phrasing.
Right. Blew my mind.
Yeah. So what really blew my mind
Well, you
was,
said it again.
Yeah, blew my mind. What really blew my mind was how
3 times.
I literally, my brain like shut down, and my body just went into this whole thing of returning fire and moving towards the contact, and and of course this only is a couple of seconds, because after a couple of seconds your brain kicks in and is like, dude, they're shooting at you, right? Like those are real freaking bullets, and they're coming at you,
Things going boom.
Yeah, I mean, things blowing up, mortars going off, stuff like that. But I mean, that's that muscle memory. That's why we train. That's why we do 1,000 hours of training before we do a mission.
Sure.
It's because when the shit hits the fan, our body is going to do what our body is supposed to do, minus the brain.
Yeah, you
Right.
don't think. There is no thinking in a fire.
just reaction.
You just
Yeah.
react. That's
I
part of
love how
that's
Dunham-
what he's getting.
You love
at
how
the
Dunham
training.
talks about not thinking.
Right.
The only intelligent thing he's offered all day.
Freaking Dunham. I'll tell you what, Dunham's good at not thinking. Dunham's good at not thinking.
So how long were you in Bethesda?
I was in a lot of hospitals and rehab facilities, so I don't know the entire timeline.
Sure.
I was in Bethesda. I got there like late August. In October 1st, I went to the James A. Haley VA Hospital in Tampa, Florida for the traumatic brain injury program.
Okay.
In November, I went back to Bethesda for a hand surgery. In December, I think I was home on convalescent leave. I went back to Bethesda February, March time frame to get my cranioplasty, my plate put in my head.
Which made your hat size larger.
By 3/8 of an inch, yeah. So, I mean, me
Did
and
they-
Barry Bonds, baby. Me and Barry Bonds.
You and Barry.
Me and Barry Bonds. I mean, granted, don't get me wrong, I can't hit and run like Barry Bonds. But, I mean, our heads grew as we got older.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Can Barry Bonds rock a bow tie like you though? I'm
don't know.
gonna say no.
I don't know.
I'm gonna say no.
But so I got my cranioplasty put in, and then I went home on convalescent leave again, and then I don't know, sometime in the springtime I went to Charlie Norwood VA in Augusta, Georgia for blind rehabilitation for 16 weeks. I was there for 4 months. And I came home for 13 days, and then in August, first week of August, I went back to Bethesda for my retirement process, my medical hold, my medical evaluation board, physical evaluation board, all of that type of stuff. And when I was there, I actually got offered re-enlistment papers.
You're bullshitting me.
No. Not obviously not to be an infantryman, but the Marine Corps was doing a thing at that time that if you were a wounded veteran, and you could do a job in the Corps, not might be the job you were trained for originally, but if you could do a job in the Corps, they would re-enlist you and keep you in.
Toilet cleaner.
I don't know. You know, I mean, granted, obviously, I probably would have been stuck at Quantico, like answering a phone or something like. But obviously,
but you do have a beautiful voice and dictation, so I mean, you could do some damage.
That's years of training, baby. Yeah, you like that?
Yeah, you could. You know how
many Newports I had to smoke to get this voice?
I mean,
it's almost like it's almost like Barry White. Yeah. Close. Almost like Barry White.
It's true.
Hey.
I try.
You're my last.
I try.
Ooh, yeah. So, how did you meet Kimberly, your wife? How did that all come about?
Okay, so I did a video, like a motivational video for a company called National Teachers Association.
Okay.
In Addison, Texas.
Okay.
All right. NTA, my buddy Jim Cothran was like number 3 at the company at the time, and he asked me if I would do this Veterans Day video for them, and we actually shot it, and then he gave me all the raw footage, and I was able to use that to create a motivational video for my own business at the time I was starting, called Michael Jernigan Motivates. Now COVID shut it down, but here's what it is. So Kimberly actually saw this video online on a website for an organization that I was working with at the time called Honor, Courage, Commitment. I was in Dallas, Texas at the time. And she saw the video. I quit working at HCC, moved back in December of 2014, moved back to St. Pete. But I had a friend there named Rachel Wilson. And Rachel managed the website for HCC. And Kimberly was friends with Rachel on the message board. And Rachel was friends with me. And Kimberly saw the video. And she was like, I really want to meet this guy.
She wanted to meet you.
Yeah, well, I mean,
she was a groupie.
You've seen the video.
Yeah, I have. It's a great video.
You wanted to meet me after you saw the video.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fair.
Yeah. I mean, like, I'm in a sharkskin suit.
Looking good.
Yeah, bow tie.
Sharkskin.
So, yeah. Oh, 3-piece, by the way. 3-piece.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah. Well, it wasn't
first
real.
Class, bro. First class.
All the way.
Was not real sharkskin.
Oh,
why do you gotta tell everybody everything?
Well,
it would have been awesome. It would have been awesome if you would have the fin on the back.
Yeah. Actually, that would be pretty good. So Kimberly saw the video, and she posted on the message board. She wanted to meet me, all this stuff. And Rachel calls me, and she's like, "Hey, there's this girl in California that really wants to meet you." And I'm like, "Okay,
California,
California, IA, right?"
I got out.
Yeah.
Isn't that where the raisins are from?
It's where the happy cows are.
Have you heard it? The happy cows are in Wisconsin.
Just call his wife a cow.
I'm a racist and happy cow in the same sentence.
But back to my story.
I was talking.
Yeah.
Excuse me, I have the floor.
I don't mean to pull an Arlie Ermy here. I was talking. So Kimberly saw the video. She posts blah, blah, blah. And I tell Rachel, I said, give her my email address, right? And so I get this email from Kimberly. And I reply back. And, I think I'm being cool. I'm trying to be cool. My wife says I was not cool. All right? Now, I tend to disagree, but then again, I'm not always right.
Should have worn your blues, man.
Hey, I'm not always right. I'm not always right. But we wound up, she emails me, and then we're texting back and forth, then we're talking on the phone. Then it's like 13 years old in 7th grade. We're talking on the phone for 3-4 hours at a time. I got to plug my phone in, right? And then...
don't lie, you're sexting. You're sexting. Don't fucking lie, you're sexting.
I wish, but I'm not that.
Gentleman never kisses and
tells. I'm not that cool. I'm not that cool. So, but Kimberly was in the Midwest helping a friend out do something, and she texts me and she's like, "What is a cheap airline to get a one-way ticket home back to Cali?" And I texted her back and I was like, "Why don't you get a ticket to Tampa?"
And the rest is history.
Not quite. So she went online and she told herself before she went online that if it cost $200, more than $200, she would not come. right? So she looks it up on Southwest, and it is $200.05, right? And I'm a lucky man, as we can all tell with Bournemann, right? She flipped a nickel, and she came.
And then they say the rest is history.
And then the rest is history. She never left. And
Well,
we got
that's-
married a year and a half later.
Bro,
Well,
let me tell you.
JC.
Let me tell you.
Did she never leave, or was she trapped?
All right,
Ooh.
listen. I need that.
Kimberly.
I didn't have a basement there.
You didn't have a basement.
I didn't have a
It
basement
puts
in
the
Florida.
lotion on its skin. I need that nickel. I need that nickel.
I still have it, Bournemann. I'll give it to you.
All right, cool.
But,
They still got the nickel.
No, that's
But Kimberly came, and she came on a one-way ticket, and the idea was she was just going to come for like a few days, just
Hang out.
visit, yeah, that type of stuff. And then she never
Hang
left.
out.
And it's not like she never left in the sense that I didn't want her to leave, right? I didn't want her to leave. One day
Right.
I fell in love with her.
she's such a blast to be around.
She is.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
She's tough to keep up
Says
with.
the guy who's been blown up. I see what you did there.
Yeah. I mean, I've been around a lot of different blasts.
It was you that told me that humor helps.
I will say this, Jeremy. She is the best blast I've ever been around.
I will tell
Yeah.
you that she is.
Yeah.
She is great to hang out
You
with.
haven't even had her
You know,
touch
we
Certainly couldn't be the
we
worst.
got to hang out for a few days in
Yeah.
DC and in Texas. It's been absolutely great. So you've got the new house here. You moved here from Texas.
Hold on.
Oh,
I want to
the
introduce your
best-
listeners
In the
to one of the best sounds
in the
in the world.
microphone. Yep. Oh yeah.
Kerr's Banquet.
Ew.
Tap the Rockies.
You can serve it at banquets.
How's that taste?
Okay, let me tell you something.
Just quickly tell me, like
Adolf Coors was a great beer maker, right?
Yeah.
And he wanted to make a beer so fine you could serve it at a banquet. So he created Coors Banquet
Oh my gosh.
beer.
this
It's
is
delicious.
almost like a banquet. This is a great weekend.
It is.
This is
It
a great weekend.
Celebratory weekend.
That's right.
You know, yeah, that type of stuff.
Well, I got to ask you because folks are always going to want to know
Left.
how do you, besides Kimberly, how do you make it through the day? How do you get through things? I mean, I've been with you. I will tell you one of the most humbling experiences for me personally, and you're going to laugh when I tell you this, hopefully, is when you yelled my name. We're in D.C. and you said, "Take me to the pisser," in front of God and everybody, and I had no idea. And you put your hand on my left shoulder, and away we went. For a guy that's never been an escort for someone, that was a truly that experience kind of made me like look at myself, go, "What the fuck?"
Yeah,
this guy,
you were
this
so
guy's
affordable. You should charge more.
yeah. Well, I didn't know that anybody could, that I didn't know that somebody would trust me with their, you know what I mean? Like
Well, so
being a
it's-
fireman's one thing, but
yeah, but I mean, it's funny you say that. Like, okay, what? What are you talking
no,
about?
So I've been acquaintances or friends with Mike for a while.
He saved my damn life.
I did save his damn life.
At this point, I don't
So
think we're friends.
but like I haven't like
Acquaintances, you
Well,
freaking
no,
dirt.
I didn't mean it like that. But like I meant like this is like the first time I'm ever at his house with his wife, and
Yeah.
his wife is super cool. Mike's super cool.
she tolerates a lot of shit. She's like my wife. She puts up with. I mean, we're smoking in the basement,
We are smoking in the basement.
in the bar.
Literally smoking in the basement. We have boatloads of freaking booze.
We're getting ready to eat a good supper.
We are getting brisket.
No, tomorrow.
Smoked
Tonight's ribs.
Tonight's smoked ribs.
Yeah,
She put on the hog bow.
Yeah.
So either way, we're Mike convinced me to get a haircut. I have longish hair.
Oh, you didn't do it.
I did.
You paid for that haircut?
I did.
Mama San hooked that trash up, bro.
No, it's not. It's not Mama San. It's what I can't even think of her name.
It's Daisy.
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 Like do a dollop?
Oh, Daisy, that's my wife's favorite sound.
Right. So we went to the barbershop. Anyway, it was like a $15 haircut. Whatever, you know. Most things are actually most things nowadays are overpriced. Like
Sure.
bacon's overpriced. Like anything. It doesn't matter.
China owns it.
Yeah, China owns everything. It doesn't matter what it is.
China.
China. So
They're getting
everything's
huge.
gas is overpriced. Everything's overpriced. Bread's overpriced. Milk's overpriced. Everything's overpriced as of right now. Hopefully, at some point in time, we'll get a clue what's going on, and then inflation will come down. Blah 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 blah. So we went to get a haircut, and Mike got his haircut first. This and that. And then, so he sat, after he got done, he sat down. I got my haircut. I paid for my haircut. And I wasn't even thinking about, like, him being blind. I was just thinking of just as a friend, you know what I mean? So I went to go leave. So I went to go leave myself. And in the background, he goes, "Are you fucking leaving me? Are you leaving me, bro?" I'm like, oh shit! I didn't even think about it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that doesn't affect me. You know, like I don't have. Well, I do have a blind friend. Don't get me wrong, but I'm not around him. I'm not around him 24/7. So it didn't like compute that.
Right.
I need to go back to him to, to lead him out of the barbershop. So I'm like, he's like, "Yo, you leaving me, bro?" I'm like, "Oh shit, I gotta go back and get him." So it's just those small things, the small things that we
take for granted.
Exactly, we take for granted that Mike not be able to do. He does a lot of things on his
like
own.
I like to say it, I don't see very well.
right. But I'm just saying, like we take us capable people. We take advantage of. We don't take advantage of, but we don't think of it that way. But like,
sure.
You know what I mean? Like running water. Like I'm not saying but like there's a lot of people that don't have running water,
sure.
or don't have electric, or don't have the shit that we have.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Some don't have a car, some don't have food every day.
Well,
Right.
I have blackout blindfolds that all of you can wear tonight, so you can walk around drunk and in the dark like Michael.
Dude, that would be amazing. Not gonna lie.
I'm really good.
I'm going to be
I'm going to tell you what.
Did I bring my insurance card?
Wait.
I got a lot of experience.
Wait. If we wear the blindfold, could we play hide and seek?
Well, here's another thing.
Got to make the
Of course we can.
Matter of fact, I have 6 Nerf guns we bought today. With a boatload of, I have probably like 1,000.
We could take over like a preschool.
We gonna play a quiet place.
We could all put blindfolds on and then
What
play.
did I say about NCIS, Jeremy? Jesus Christ!
we could all have a.
By the way, for
fight
all you listeners,
blinded.
we are not going to take over a preschool. That is not what we want to do.
No. We'll do at least an elementary school.
We are pro law enforcement. We are pro firefighters, whether you have a mustache or not.
That's right.
But
Male or female.
But if you have a mustache,
who wants a mustache ride?
Yeah.
Have fun. So tell us, Mike.
So
take us.
I'll tell you this.
Yeah.
What you were talking about earlier, right?
Yeah.
It takes a lot of trust.
Yeah.
Okay. So, which was very difficult for me, but in the very beginning, I came to the realization that if I'm not willing to ask for help,
Right.
then I'm not going to get help.
Well, you yell at people so much that like you scared the shit out of me. I was like, I'll take you wherever the fuck you want to go. I ain't gonna argue with you.
I will say this: I did have a traumatic brain injury, and occasionally, and my wife will tell you, it's only occasionally, I got a volume control issue.
No, I wouldn't say so.
Yeah, sometimes.
No.
I don't think I'm as loud as I can be.
Absolutely.
But I've been told. So I don't know if you know this, but I was taught how to yell very loud, not by the Marine Corps, but I was a NCAA All-American cheerleader in high school.
Whoa.
Oh yeah.
Pump the brakes.
Yeah.
Bombshell.
I want to hear it.
Hold on. Kimberly said we have to wrap up here pretty soon because she wants to eat. But now
we're going to continue.
Yeah. We
Jeremy might go offline, but we're going to continue here.
No. We're capturing this shit. We're here with male cheerleader Michael Jernigan.
Excuse me, that's All-American cheerleader.
Oh, excuse me.
All-American cheerleader.
Oh my God.
Right.
Now, granted, only my junior year. I didn't get it my senior year, but junior year I was an NCAA All-American cheerleader.
Did you happen to?
Have you ever watched those cheerleading competitions on television?
No, I can't say that I have.
I was busy gardening. I'm sorry.
Hey, Bournemann, you got a shovel?
I mean,
So hold on, like
I watched
Okay,
him.
so Dunham.
I watched him, just not for the cheerleading.
From 1995 to 1997, you would have seen me on ESPN as a cheerleader.
are you in that movie Bring It On?
Right.
No.
I bet you look like shit in that skirt.
Right.
Be aggressive. Be aggressive.
Actually, you got it wrong. It's be aggressive, B-E.
No. You can't pronounce the E.
Yeah.
No. It's not. That's not how it goes.
Were you a cheerleader?
No.
Did we
Shut
offend
the
his
fuck
delicate
up.
Excuse me,
sensibility?
excuse me.
Then shut the fuck up.
Mr. Jernigan,
I
Mr.
know,
Jernigan,
we-
point of order.
We know.
Point of order. You said
Point of order.
All-American.
We know-
All-American cheerleader.
All American. So, yeah.
We are the members of.
That is absolutely amazing. I did not know that about you. That's
Yeah. Oh, dude, I'm a man of many facets. So, also, master scuba diver.
Question. Do you still have the uniform?
I want to see you model that.
If you damn it! If you have the uniform,
although-
if you have the uniform, you better put it on right now.
It was.
I will, dude. I will give you $40 fucking dollars. I'll give you $400. Fuck, $400. If you have the uniform right now, I'll give you $400 to put it on right now.
Shit, I'll do my swim team speedo for that.
Yeah.
I mean, dude, for $400, I'll wear my wife's panties and bra.
It might rip.
I mean, hey, for $400,
Yeah.
I'll walk up the block in a thong.
Yeah, you
And the
absolutely would.
only thing in a thong. Yeah.
Well,
like,
we'd see you like maybe 5 hours later.
yeah. Dude, are you?
Jesus.
With friends like this.
We are a bunch of degenerates. As you can tell, humor is the best medicine.
Well, see, he would be. So here's the thing. So if I paid him to walk up, the block or walk up a block with a thong, whatever, paid him $400, he'd be walking like a zombie.
Pretty sure that was you, Brendan.
Because he would be like, he would have hands out like I don't know how to explain it, but hands out.
Bournemann, for $400, I will walk 3 blocks up Constitution Avenue in nothing but a fucking thong.
Well, there
No
you go.
balls.
September it is. Speaking of which, you
But
are
only 3 blocks.
All right, listen.
so you're part of the you're part of the Blinded
subject.
American Veterans Foundation, correct?
Yes. So let's bring this up.
Yeah.
Um,
I want to talk about this.
Yeah. So the Blinded American Veterans Foundation is an organization that was started in 1985
Wow.
by my mentor and one of my best friends. Unfortunately, he passed away. His name is John Fales. John was a Marine in Vietnam.
Was.
Yeah, unfortunately, in November of 2018, John passed away. Right.
Well, there was no was. You're always a Marine.
But it's true.
He
But
didn't die.
It
he
was because
he went
died.
to heaven and now he's manning the
But he's,
privilege.
Yeah.
but he's still a Marine.
Yeah.
We guard the streets of heaven for crying out loud.
With friends like this, right?
Everybody's a critic, bro.
My story. My story.
Roger
Then
that.
tell it right.
Roger that, Lance Corporal.
You weren't even there.
You don't even know.
You don't know, man. You were there, bro. You didn't see it.
Roger that,
Macho
Lance
Man.
Corporal.
Granted, I didn't see it either. So, back to the Blinded American Veterans Foundation.
He didn't. He's a John Blind.
You smelled it.
Yeah, in 1985, John Fales started the Blinded American Veterans Foundation with some other blind veterans, in order to, assist blind veterans in any way that you need. And we started he started a grant program, so we give grants to the Visual Impairment Services team coordinators and the blind rehabilitation outpatient specialists at the VA to kind of help with budget shortfalls. We do research on prosthetic equipment for the blind and visually impaired, and so it's an organization where we're trying to advance the cause for blind and visually impaired veterans.
Sure.
Okay. Now, I always have a story because I am a storyteller.
Yeah, I love it.
And I will say this, John Fales, I never met this guy before in my life until I was in the ICU at Bethesda National Naval. And in strolls this blind dude named John Fales. And he's got some prosthetic devices with him. One is like this machine that you can put up to your clothing and hit the button and it'll tell you what color it is. And One was a script talk reader that like you roll across your prescription bottles, and there's an RFID chip in your prescription bottles, and it reads everything on the prescription label and stuff like that.
That's pretty cool.
And basically, what he was
Didn't
trying
know
to
that
tell
existed.
Yeah, it does. And what basically he was trying to tell me is, and what he actually did tell me was, there is success after blindness, right? And so I went on my whole trip of those 16 months through hospitals and rehab facilities, and when I got back to medical hold in August of '05, John kind of took me under his wing. Now, I never asked for this or anything. John just kind of took me,
Yeah.
And he started like teaching me, this is how you operate in the VA. This is how you operate as a blind veteran. This is how you be blind, right? This is what you got to do to make it happen. John is the guy who convinced me to go to college. I got medically retired 29 December of '05. I moved back to St. Petersburg, Florida, and John would call me in '06, and he'd call me and ask me, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm doing nothing. I'm doing this, I'm doing that, whatever. And he'd be like, why aren't you going to school? And I'd say, John, I don't really want to go to college. I failed out of college before the Marine Corps. And he told me flat out, he's like, you're dumb. Right? He's like, that's stupid. He's like, they will pay for you to go to college. If you don't take advantage of that, that's just stupid. That's just wasting your benefits. So, towards the end of 2006, I started really realizing that I wanted to do something with my life. Right? At this time, I was 28 years old, and so I decided to move up to D.C. And I moved to Alexandria, Virginia in January of '07, and I started college at Northern Virginia Community College on August 23rd of 2007, 3 years and 1 day after I got whacked, right? And I did that because of John. So a couple of years go by. I'm up in the D.C. area, living in Alexandria, McLean. My first year at MVCC did very well, transferred to Georgetown University, right?
How'd you fit in there?
I did not.
Okay, fair.
Yeah, I did not.
I don't think most veterans fit into most colleges.
Yeah,
especially not combat vets.
I would disagree with that in the sense it depends on the school. Okay, Georgetown was not a good fit for me. Okay, Georgetown hadn't had a blind student in their undergraduate program for 20 years, the whole 9 yards. This and that, it just was what it was. Okay, but at that time, 2009, John and I are sitting at the National Press Club with Pulitzer Prize-winning journalist Carlton Sherwood.
Okay.
Okay. Carlton's passed away. Good guy, the whole 9 yards. But 5 years, this is 5 years after I met John. And I finally start asking him, hey, John, who did you serve with in Vietnam? When did you get wounded? That type of stuff. Come to realize, my grandfather was John's battalion commander in Vietnam.
Nice.
Wow.
Okay? So when I truly to this day believe, and my grandfather passed away before I joined the Marine Corps, but I truly believe that when I went blind in Iraq, my grandfather hit his Rolodex in heaven and found one of his Marines on Earth that had gone through the same thing.
Man, that's heavy.
And sent him to me.
Wow.
Right? And I'm a believer. Okay.
Sure.
I'm a believer. You don't go through what we went through without believing. There's an old adage: there's never a atheist in a fighting hole type thing.
Yeah. Right.
But I'm a true believer, and if that didn't convince me, I don't know what would.
That's right.
So John became my mentor and became one of my best friends, and he basically groomed me to take over the Blinded American Veterans Foundation. When he passed away in November of 2018, I took over the foundation. And we still continue to offer grants to the VA for budget shortfalls. We still continue to do research on medical and prosthetic devices for blind and visually impaired veterans. And one of the things we're really trying to do, and unfortunately it's difficult now with the situation we've got in our country, but we're trying to do a reintegration program as well.
Sure.
Right. To get
a lot of heavy lifting.
Yeah, and it is, and it's something we're trying to get up and we're trying to move forward. But I recommend you come visit us at BAVF.org. That's Bravo Alpha Victor Foxtrot Oscar Romeo Golf, BAVF.org, and you can see what we're all about. The Blinded American Veterans Foundation has given me a way to give back. Right.
Right.
John Fales and another guy named Don Levesque, Frenchie, was also another blind Vietnam veteran that took me under his wing, who through a mutual family friend came into play. These guys really taught me that it's not about me so much. It's about what I can do for those in my situation, right?
Sure.
A Marine has a mission. And with a mission, a Marine has direction and purpose. When a Marine does not have a mission, he is downright dangerous because he has no direction and purpose. John gave me a mission. And with that mission, I got direction and purpose in my life.
Yeah, I mean, you guys are doing amazing things. Your wife knows a whole shit ton of people up on the Hill, and you guys have been lobbying and trying to get things corrected for, and I will tell you, I'm not service connected like the three of you are, but it is an atrocity to see what has come to our war.
No, but you're service connected between the service you do.
I wouldn't say you're not service.
Well, I mean, I'm not military service connected, and actually none of our guys are the instructors. But
I would think that firefighters tend to count in that category.
Oh yeah. It doesn't matter.
It's even more ballsy than what we did.
Anything.
So which one of you guys is going to work the shaft, and which one is going to get the gravy?
I get the cherry,
who's
the
cupping
berries.
the balls?
Yeah.
Who's doing the reach around?
Well, listen, we always
appreciate a nice reach around.
Yeah. So what I'm basically going to say here is what everybody else is trying to say. As a firefighter, you serve every day.
Sure.
Thank you very much.
No, it's not that, guys.
It takes a very special person, like I said earlier in the podcast, to run towards the fire.
That's right. It does.
Right.
And it takes somebody that is selfless and somebody that cares, right? And when you think of our veterans and our first responders, right, they are people that care, and there are people that are selfless. There are people that are willing to go out and do something that the general public couldn't imagine doing.
I think they take for granted too. I think there's a lot of
there's
a lot of that. People don't worry about they don't worry about the things like that we would worry about.
Like the warden doing the final dinner call.
Yep. Yeah.
Final call from dinner from the warden.
Yeah, the warden says we got to wrap this up.
Very tall and mean looking, ferocious.
All 5 foot nothing, blonde hair. Listen, we always wrap these podcasts up with some pearls of wisdom. So I just kind of want to get some thoughts of wisdom. If you guys got something maybe on leadership or something that you can impart on our listeners, we're going to start. We're going to start with you, Mr. Dunham, if that's okay, and then we'll go to
Dunham.
Then we'll go to Jesus Christ. It's Wesley Bournemann, and then we'll end up with Mike. So you
By
got
the way,
anything?
Jesus is not been on the podcast. He is with us every day, but he is not here.
Jesus lives in my heart.
That's right. Where two or more gathered, he shall be. That's what the Bible says. So what do you got for us there, Mr. Dunham?
I mean, what's weighing on my heart right now, just sitting here listening, is don't be afraid to go get help. Just don't do it. Don't be afraid to it. Don't hide from it.
Sure.
Because the longer you wait, the worse it gets. The harder it is to recover. So just don't wait. If you think you should, you probably should.
Okay, that's fair, and I like it. All right, Mr. West.
And as you can tell, I'm emotional as far as all this stuff being brought back up.
Sure.
So to reiterate with John Dunham's comment, go. Whether you're X something or X whatever, or just go seek help. So that being said, I'm gonna go seek help myself. I need to just buckle down, and because I thought I could just bottle it up and then not express my just not say it. But but as soon as it was brought up, it
always finds a way out.
As far as the fine young gentleman he is, sitting in front of me.
He says that because I'm younger than him.
2 whole years.
Yes, she is too. Yeah, she is younger than me. I can sit in front of him and we can talk all day. But then, if if like anything like, because catastrophic is brought up, it just brings back that day, and it wasn't a good day for me, hence it wasn't a good day for Mike either, but.
But you did exactly what needed to be done.
Right. But like, I mean, we all have those stressful, not those kind of stressful issues, but like we all have stressful issues, whether it be, someone saying bad stuff about work or something, or whatever the case, whatever it is, whatever issue it is, small issue, big issue, it doesn't matter. Please go talk to somebody. It's gonna help me eventually, because I'll start, and to be honest with you, when I had my emotional breakdown for that small period of time, John and Mike came over. They took off their headphones. They came over to me, and they confront, they helped me out, in my small emotional time. And I appreciated that. It was very comforting.
I've been there, brother.
So,
You're not alone.
no, I know I'm not alone. But it's just it's hard to express, like, as a man. It's just as
Sure.
a man in general.
Yeah.
It's hard to express those feelings.
Or we're taught
Yeah.
not to.
Yeah. So like I said, when Mike brought up, and that's why when I was offline, if you heard it, I was using the bathroom and I said something to his wife. I said it might get emotional, which it did
Right.
for me.
Sure.
But like I said, if you're anything as far as whatever it is, as far as traumatic experience at work, traumatic, whatever it is, talk to somebody. And it doesn't have to be a therapist. If you're not comfortable with that, talk to your fellow coworker. If you feel comfortable. And like I said, I don't know. I mean,
Just talk to someone.
Yeah.
talk to someone in general.
That's right.
And don't
Get it
hide
out.
from it either. Don't
Don't hide from it. Like I've obviously been hiding for a while.
Like, tell them everything.
Right. Well, Mike, what do you got for us to wrap this thing up?
I'll say Bournemann and Dunham brought up a great point, and if you need help, get help. I will say this. One of the best things you can do, and it's difficult, but one of the best things you can do is build a social network, right? Build a network of people that you can rely on. Build a network of people that you can lean on. Build a network of people that you can call, right? No matter what. Now, that's all well and good, but I will also say this, and I said it earlier. If you find yourself in a position where you don't know where to go, right? If you find yourself at that point in your life where you might have hit a fork in the road, or you might have hit, 4 forks in the road, who knows, right? It's like you need a compass to give you the direction. Because with direction, you can find purpose, right? So find yourself a mission. Find yourself something that you're passionate about. It might be animals. It might be first responders. It might be veterans. It might be children. It might be the endangered Mexican chinchilla. I don't know if the Mexican chinchilla is endangered, whatever. But you find a cause,
Mexican
right?
chinchillas.
Yeah, they make great coats. But you find a cause. And with that type of cause, you're going to find a mission, right? And with that mission, when you get that mission in your life, it's going to give you direction. It's going to give you purpose. And when you have direction and purpose in your life, you know which way to go. You know what to do. You know what your life is going to give you, right? So find a mission, no matter what it is. It might be your mission to lose 70 pounds. It might be your mission to help, blind dogs, whatever that mission is, just find it.
Right.
And when you find it, it's gonna give you direction. It's gonna give you purpose. And when you have direction and purpose in your life, you're gonna have fulfillment. You're not going to have a lack of confidence. You're not going to have that, what's the word I'm like,
Sense of being?
sense of being,
Sense of purpose.
sense of purpose.
Yeah.
This is where the TBI comes into play, right? Self-esteem. That's the word I'm looking for.
There we go.
Right? When you have mission,
2 words.
when you have direction, it is 2 words. Thank
It's a
you, darling.
phrase.
I was gonna
Thank
say.
you, darling.
I was
It
gonna
is
say.
yes, you too,
No,
darling.
there's a hyphen. It's
Yeah.
one word.
Is there?
No, if you hyphenate your name, you still got. No, that's 2.
Okay.
.com.
Sorry, Mike. They hijacked your thought.
They
Self-esteem.
do. That's what they do.
Self-esteem.
But what I'm saying is, like, that's the key to self-esteem, right? Like, and that's one of our biggest problems in this country is, and I know I suffer from it, right? As big and bad as I look on paper, right? I still suffer from self-esteem issues, from low self-esteem.
I would never guess that.
You're a sexy man, by the way.
Thank you. You know, but it is a struggle for me, and it's a struggle that I put on. I armor myself with false bravado, that type of stuff. But at the end of the day, if you're lacking that self-esteem, the way you fix that is you find direction and purpose.
Yeah.
Right.
I would
Because
actually love to have your confidence. I don't have the.
I wish I had your
I don't
confidence,
have the
too.
confidence you have,
Yeah.
and you're more disabled than I am.
I have been tested and
I don't have
tried
that.
in
I don't
more
have
ways
that.
than
I don't have that confidence.
Yeah, and it wasn't there at the beginning, and I still talk about self-esteem because I still struggle with it. But I mean, it's 18 years post-injury, and in those 18 years, I've learned a lot about myself. I learned about my limitations. I learned about my strengths. I learned about my weaknesses. You know, and play to your strengths. Try to limit your weaknesses, but don't avoid your weaknesses. Try to improve on your weaknesses.
Make them things your bitch.
So here's the thing, right? And like I'm going to go a little longer into this just because I want to talk about it. But in the Marine Corps, we create leaders. Okay? That's what we do. We create leaders. From training day 1 in the Marine Corps, they are beating leadership into your head. Okay? We create leaders. It's what Marines do. We do 3 things very well. Okay? We look amazing because our uniforms, right? We create leaders because it's what we do, and most importantly, we're United States Marines. We win America's battles, period. And we do that because we have mission, we have direction, and we have purpose, right? On paper, I look amazing, but at the end of the day, I still question myself every day like everybody else does. I think it's normal to question yourself. If you're not questioning yourself, if you're not questioning what you're thinking, if you're not questioning what you're doing, then you're not doing it right, okay? Always question yourself. Always look into it. Now, there's a limit. Don't continue to question yourself out of a decision, but always look at different aspects, right? If you're not doing self-introspection, you're never going to be able to find what your mission is. And without that mission, you're going to find your direction and purpose. Okay? So I think that's not the magic pill by any shakes of the imagination.
No, that's Viagra.
Right. True.
It's a documentary right now.
That's a
Do you
whole
wanna
story
watch it?
for a different time.
I'm 45. I don't need Viagra.
But
As the warden,
plus-
I feel like nobody took me seriously.
No, we took you serious. We're trying to wrap
And
up.
it's because I can't reach the second shelf. This is bullshit.
Well, listen, you touched on something that I thought was really great, Mike. You talked about leadership, and
yeah,
Jim Kuza says leadership is not about titles, positions, or work hours. It's about relationships.
bingo.
And-
Okay, so if you're a leader and you're listening right now, get out of your desk, walk around, talk to your employees, ask them about the pictures on their desk, ask them about their families, ask them about their life. Because if they think you care, which you should care if you're leading people, if they know you care, then they're going to do whatever you want. They're going to go to the bank with you. They're going to run directly into the fire for you, okay? But they're not going to do it unless they know you care. So if you're a leader, get up, get out of your desk, meet your people, lead your people from the front.
Thank you, Joel.
That is very well said. Dunham,
Thank you.
Bournemann, Jernigan.
Thank you, Pastor Mike.
Service. We'll pass the plate here in just a minute. We'll take up collection.
I'd like to introduce you to the good press. The good pastor right
I want
now.
to thank the three of you, honestly, for sitting down and chatting with us. This isn't our normal forte to talk about stuff like this, but you know, it's not often you can sit down with people and actually have a real conversation. And we've kind of covered a broad spectrum of things, but on behalf of our cadre, we want to say thank you for sitting down and telling your stories and being a part of this and letting other people know. Mike,
Can I make a recommendation here? I know
Yeah.
you're a firefighter, right?
yeah,
For all those listening, this Thanksgiving, this Christmas, bake a pie, bake a cake, right? Bake a turkey, whatever you want to bake. Write your address on it, and then take it to your local fire station. Make sure they remember your address, because hopefully one day if you call, they'll be like, oh, that's the pie lady, or that's the turkey dude. We got to get there quick.
fair enough. Fair enough.
Fair
enough.
I don't think you bake a turkey. I mean,
You roast a turkey, whatever.
right.
I don't know. I'm not a chef. I like to eat, but I'm not a chef.
It's not like I went to Georgetown or anything, right?
Well, this has been.
By the way, I want to clarify. I did not graduate from Georgetown University. I went there for a year. I graduated from the University of South Florida, which I'm very proud of because my father, Michael Jernigan, the original, I'm new and improved outfit for
You're
night
2.0.
operations.
You're
They
2.0.
did not sponsor that statement. By
No,
the way.
they did not.
Yeah,
Well, listen,
but I'm a proud graduate of the University of South Florida.
I want to thank y'all seriously for allowing us. Kimberly, thanks for allowing us to come into your home. I hope everybody pees on Hanoi Jane when we go to the urinal.
Done.
Just to clarify that, Michael has Hanoi Jane targets in the urinal, so when you pee on them, it's just a point of just hilarity. It's
So
good.
You're welcome.
I have 3.5 bathrooms in my house, and I have 3 full urinals.
I'm trying to lobby for a change in my house right now.
Well,
We're going with the sanitation.
Yeah,
argument.
can we also say thank you to one person?
Yes.
It means a lot to me.
Yes, sir.
Wes Bournemann. Thank you for saving my life. Thank you for disobeying orders. And thank you. Because I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you. I wouldn't have my wife if it wasn't for you. I wouldn't have my house if it wasn't for you. I wouldn't have a life if it wasn't for you. So thank you, Bournemann. I fucking love you, Devil Dog. I love you.
And that is the reason we're actually here this weekend. This is what is called a live day, and we are here in Northern Virginia. This has been the Halligans and Half Wheels podcast, brought to you by Box 1971. Remember, train hard. We're all they have.